Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to see how to basically create a strategy where we can use the positions detail in order to take entry two times on the buy side and on the sell side of each stock in the list. All right. So if you have a list of stocks, then and if you're using quantity keyword where basically you're trading in, say, suppose 10 shares of each stock in the list, then in that case how to use positions detail so that you can enter into a trade for two times during the day before universally exiting the strategy, each on the buy side, two times on the buy side and two times on the sell side. So this is the strategy that I have created for that demonstration. So this is basically the name of the strategy is positions detail quantity to trade two times on buy side and sell side in each stock. All right, so I'll just show you the conditions of the strategy over here and also the formula that we have used in positions detail in order to restrict the entries. So set number one, if we can see the entry is similar to the other strategies that we have mostly where we are using a time constraint that it should trade between 9:25 and 14:58, and the net quantity of set number one as well as set number two should be 0, and it's a simple again super trend crossover where we are checking the close of is greater than super trend of the previous 1 minute candle on a 5-2 parameter, and previous to previous candle is basically lower than the super trend. That is basically it's an upside crossover on the list of trending stocks July list. All right, and on the buy side, in order to enter two times, we have used this formula. So this is important. So this is the positions detail entry by all quantity trending stocks July, that is the list name, is less than or equal to number 10. So now why we have used number 10 is because if you see on the position side, we are trading in 10 stocks in 10 shares of each stock in the list. All right, so this is our list. Let me just zoom out again. So this is our list trending stocks July. There are total 4 shares, right? So TCS, Tata Motors, Infi and Reliance, and we are trading in this particular list, and we are trading in 10 shares in each list. So for one time entry, we already know that we have to simply keep in order to trade just one time on the buy side, we will have to just keep positions detail is equal to 0. All right, I'll just show you to you right now. So if you have to take just entry one time, then all you have to do is you have to keep this as number 0. All right, so when you keep it like this, it will enter into buy side of this particular stocks just one time during the day if you use position detail is equal to 0. Now in this case, since we have to enter two times during the day and the total quantity that we are trading in positions detail is 10 shares, that's the reason why we are using this particular formula. So always remember this number whenever you are trading is equal to the number that you are trading in the positions builder. All right, so if you are trading in 100 shares in each stock, then in that case it will be the number will be 100 for two times entry. All right, so positions detail entry on the buy side, all quantity trend the list name and is less than or equal to number 10, that is the quantity that we are trading, and the positions detail is basically entry. This is entry by all, since this is in stocks quantity, and here we have selected our list name, that is basically the list that we want to trade in. All right, so this is the entry condition for the position detail on the buy side. Again, the exit of the first set is basically the downside crossover. So that is whenever there is a super trend, there is a downside crossover of the super trend, then in that case we are exiting. All right, and that the exit of the first set is basically the entry of the second set. So over here we are taking entry on the short side when there is a downside crossover after checking the net quantity of again set number 1 and set number 2 is 0. So after that we will also check the positions detail over here. So over here also, if you see positions detail, instead of, because it is on the sell side, right? So the reason why I'm using absolute, and under that absolute I'm using positions detail. So under absolute keyword I have used positions detail. All right, so under positions detail we are using the same, but in this case it is sell side, right? So entry sell, instead of as we have seen in the first set it was buy, in the second set we are using sell. All will be basically in this case, since it's not call or put, it will be all, and quantity and list of trending stocks July is equal to is less than equal to number 10. All right, it is basically same as the buy side, if we did not use absolute, right, then in that case we would have to use another formula and it will be a little complicated because sell side is in negative, right? When we are buying, it's in positive, so we can say that buy is less than equal to number 10. But when we are using positions detail on the sell side, it will be basically minus 10. So calculating that becomes a slightly difficult task. So that's the reason why, in order to keep it simple, I have used the term absolute. So under absolute, when I make use positions detail for sell, it basically nullifies the requirement for keeping the number as negative. So it's the same formula on the sell side, but just that it's position details entry S. S is basically for sell. All right, and I've created this particular entry condition. And also on the sales side also, as we can see, the reason why we're taking quantity as 10 is because of the shares that we are trading is number 10. All right. And this is basically the exit of the second set is basically the upside crossover. That is exactly basically the entry condition for the buy side. That is basically crossover condition. So now let's just see what kind of trades it has taken during the day. All right. So this is the strategy. So let's just go to each share. So first of all, let's see TCS. So as you can see in TCS, right, so it first entered on the buy side at 9:32 a.m. It exited from the buy side at 10:07 a.m. all right, when the super trend condition crossover changed, and at the same time, since this was a super trend crossover on the downside, it entered on the short side. All right, again it exited from the short position at 10:13 and entered on the long side, because again it was a long side upside crossover. That's the reason why it entered into buy, and then again it exited the long position and entered into sell at 10:46 a.m. and then it exited the sell position. But then after that it did not take entry, because our restriction was that it should take 2 times entry into buy and 2 times entry into sell. So that's the reason why this was the first buy entry, 10 quantity, first buy entry. This is the second, then there was first sell entry of minus 10 quantity. Then there was a second buy entry of 10 quantity, and then there was a second sell entry of 10 quantity. After that, it stopped taking the trades because of the restriction that we just put. Similarly, it has done for the rest of the stocks also. So as we can see, this was the first entry in Reliance in the short side, then the first entry on the long side, then there was a short entry on the at 9:50 a.m. Then again there was a long side entry at 10:19 a.m. So first short, second short entry, first long entry, and second long entry. So total 2 sides on the buy side, 2 sides on the sell side also over here. After that it stopped taking any trades. Similarly for Tata Motors also, it has taken first short entry, this is the second short entry, this is the first long entry, and this is the second long entry. So that's how it's taken 2 trades in Tata Motors, as well as Infosys also. It has done the same. So first long entry, this is the first short entry, this is the second long entry, and this is the second short entry. So total 2 times it has traded on both the sides. So this is how you can basically build the condition for entering 2 times when you're using quantity in your positions, basically your strategy. I hope this was useful. Thank you. Just one more thing that before, so this is basically for 2 times entry, right? So yeah, so even if you have to increase the quantity, if you want to take 3 times, then you can simply put the number as less than equal to number 20. If you want to take 4 times, then you should keep the number less than basically number less than 30, that way. All right, so you should basically increase the number that is there in the positions builder. This number will be increased or decreased. This number will be increased or decreased as per the quantity that you are trading over here. All right, so just understand that logic. So once you understand it, then you basically will be able to create your own combinations as per your liking with regards to creating the strategies. All right, thank you. Yeah.